right? We're having this scenario. We are told we are going to use this example. The following information regarding of Dlamini Limited is available. Total assets, right? This total asset, that is what we are having. How these assets have been what? These are non-current assets, right? Together. These total non-current assets, they amount to the tune of 100 million. Then how has it been financed? It has been financed through what? Equity in tune of what? 100 million. And then the tax rate. The tax rate is 28% of profit before interest. Then interest rate is 10% of what? Of debt. Are you together? Then earnings before interest and tax is 20 million. How do they get this earnings before interest and tax? Right, earlier on in our first example, it said we're having sales, less cost of sales, we get our gross what? Profit. Then from gross profit, we say less expenses, we get our what? PPIT, that is profit before interest and taxes. So in this instance, we are starting from this section going down there. Are you together? We're starting from here going down. So we are given all the earnings before interest and taxes from using this what? Asset, right? So we want to calculate our profit before tax and also our net profit, right? Together. We want to calculate profit before tax and our net profit. And also after we are done calculating those, we need also to calculate the return on what? On assets. That is, we have invested in an asset. How much is going to come back to the organization from that investment on the what? On the non-current asset. Then there is also issue of return on equity, where the shareholders have invested into that asset. How much will come to them? How much retained earnings they are going to what? To benefit, right? So how do you calculate return on assets? Return on assets is earnings before interest and taxes divided by total assets. Total non-current assets, right? Together. That's the formula for equity. Then return on equity. We are looking at the return on the investment done by what? By shareholders. What percentage are they going to enjoy from their investment? So it's going to be this amount net profit over the equity that they would have put into the what? Into the investment. So in this example, we are told total assets, it's 100 million, right? It's 100 million. Let me put zeros there. Right? Then debt amount. In this current situation, how much debt was used in this investment? Almost how much debt was used in this investment? Hello? Your mic is off. Just check on your machine or phone. It's off. Right? You're saying it's how much debt was used? Tracy Banda.
Yes, sir.
How much debt was used in this investment?
In the first scenario, 100, sir.
It's 100,000, and
yes.
So on the debt, it's 100,000 in this instance. There's nothing. There's no debt there.
So I don't know which.
In this instance, you see on the screen, right? We are saying total assets, it's 100 million. These total assets, that is assuming we are building FOB phase 2. So this,
Okay.
the phase 2 was funded by equity. Are you together? It was funded everything wholly by what? By equity in tune of how much? 100,000. So there is no debt amount there, so it's zero. Are you together? Then the equity amount is 100 million. Are you together? So what's our capital structure? What is our capital structure? Linda Money.
I think it's 0% debt and equity 100%.
0% to 100%. Are you together? It's debt as to what? Equity. So on debt, it's 0%. Then equity, it's 100%. Then we are told from that investment of this asset, from that investment of that asset, we are going to get earnings before interest and taxes. It's going to be how much? 20 million. Right together, it's going to be 20 million. And then interest on debt, we are told interest on debt is 10%. Right together, interest on debt is what? 10%, which is, let me put the formula, it's equal to 0.10 multiplied by what? By the debt amount. Right together. So therefore, in this instance, our interest on debt is going to be what? 0. Then our profit before tax, earnings before interest and taxes minus interest on debt, which is due to still remain at what? 20 million. Then our income tax, interest on debt, we are told it's 10%. Let me put it there. Then our income tax, the tax rate is 28%. So we'll say 28% multiplied by what? Profit before tax, right together. So our income tax percentage is 28%. So therefore, our income tax is equal to 20 million multiplied by 28%. So our income tax is going to be 5.6 million. Therefore, our net profit is going to be 20 million minus 5.6, which is going to be what? 14.4 million. Right together. Our net profit is going to be 14.4 million. Please don't be worried about writing notes. Don't be worried about writing notes. I'm recording everything, and I'm recording everything, so you can continue, right? So our return on assets, the formula for return on assets, that is, we have invested as an organization into this asset. Assume the asset is called, maybe this asset, we'll call it A. We have invested into asset A, in tune of 100 million. So how much are we going to be getting from this 100 million? How much are we going to enjoy from that investment? So the return on asset, the formula is earnings before interest and taxes divided by what? Total assets. Therefore, our formula is going to be earnings before interest and taxes, which is 20,000, and divided by total non-current assets. These are total assets, non-current assets in tune of 100,000. So it's going to be what? 0.2, which is going to be 20%. Right together, it's going to be 20%. Then so this means that in our investment into this asset, we'll be getting dividends in tune of how much? 20%. right together. We'll be getting dividends in tune of 20%. Then that is the organization. Then shareholders at the end of the day will say, we have invested 100,000 into this asset. How much are we going to get as dividends? That is, these are shareholders. So how do we calculate that? We say net profit, this net profit is not for the organization. This net profit is for who? For shareholders, right together. They investors. So these guys will say, we have invested this 100,000. So how much are you going to pay us as what? Dividend. So the formula is net profit divided by what? Equity amount that they would have what? Invested. So it's going to be, let me put it as follows. It's going to be net profit 14.4 divided by equity amount invested 100,000. So they will be getting their dividends that they will get at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter or anytime is going to be 14%. Are we together? It's going to be 14%. Anyone with a question on this issue? Anyone with a question here? Anyone with a question? So our return on assets is going to be 20%, return on equity 14%. Then we're having this scenario. We are asked what will happen when an additional plant, right? We want to have another plant. We're having this plant, it's A, right? What will happen if we have A and B? What will happen if we are going to purchase another plant in tune of what? 100,000, which is only acquired by what? Equity funding. What's going to happen to return on assets? What's going to happen again to return on what? Equity. We want to purchase another what? Another plant. Right together? We want to purchase another plant or assume it's an aeroplane. You purchased an aeroplane that is aeroplane A, it was in tune of 100 million. Your net profit at the end of the year is going to be 14.4. Then return on assets, it's 20%, and return on equity, shareholders will be getting 14%. Dividends, right? Assume you want to purchase plane B. You want to purchase another plane in tune of 100 million, right together. So meaning to say, total assets that will be having, it's going to be how much? 100. It's going to be 200 million, right together. The second plane plus the first plane is going to be what? 200 million. And we are saying this investment, the second investment, that is, assume we're in year 2, the second investment that we are investing on is going to be fully funded by what? Equity only. So meaning to say, on debt, it's 0. On equity, how much? 100 million. Right? So what's going to be our capital structure in this instance? Our capital, yes.
How is it still, how is the equity amount still? Okay.
Thank you very much. Our equity amount is going to be what? 200 million, right together, which is funded by, everything's funded through what? Equity. Therefore, our capital structure will still be the same as what? The previous one, 0% as to 100%, meaning to say, it's 0 and equity 100%. Everything is fully funded by what? By equity. Then we are also told that you may assume that this new plant will generate the same what? Earnings before what? Interest and taxes. So come here and when we'll be calculating our earnings before interest and taxes, what will be our total amount for earnings before interest and taxes if the second plant will generate the same earnings before interest like the first plant? Mr. Cipriano, how much?
40 million.
40 million. Right? Then we put, let me copy the formula just across. Some applies here, I copy the formula. Some applies here, I copy the formula. Right? Therefore, our interest on debt, so our earnings before tax, income, interest and taxes is going to be 40 million. And then interest on debt is going to be 0 because we don't have what? Debt there. Right together. There is no debt element in this scenario. Therefore, our interest on debt is going to be 0. Then our profit before tax will be how much? 40 million, right together. Then our income tax will be 11,200,000, which is 28% of what? 40 million. Right together. 28% of 40 million, you get 11.2. Therefore, our net profit is going to be what? 28.8. Right together. And then the return on assets, it's earnings before interest and taxes divided by total non-current assets. In this scenario, we're still getting the same what? Return on assets, which is 200,000 being divided by what? 40 million divided by 200. We get what? 20%. Then return on equity, still shareholders, whether they've invested on this on asset A, and again now asset B, they've put everything that they have, they'll be still getting what? 14%, right together. So there is no much difference at the end of the day. Last year they were getting 14% of the net profit. This year they are still getting what? 14% of the what? Of the net profit. So there is no much improvement. Of course, they'll be getting a higher figure on how much they will be getting, which is 14% of that amount. But there is no increase there is no increase in their what? Return on what? On equity. Right together. Right? Then we are having scenario 2, where we are told, assume if an additional plant, that is aeroplane B, if it's funded 50% by equity and 50% by what? By debt, what will happen? To us as shareholders, are we still going to get 14%? What will happen to the net profit? Is it going to what? To increase? We are saying instead of using this option, this is option 1. Option 2, we are saying we want to purchase the second what? Aeroplane, which is in tune of 100 million, right together. But we are saying for us to purchase the second aeroplane, which is costing 100 million, how are we going to fund the second project? It's going to be 50% equity and 50% what? Debt. Meaning to say, on debt, it's going to be how much? 50 million. Hello?
Yes.
And then on equity, it's going to be how much? 150 million.
1,000.
Yeah. 150 million. Take note, I'm saying 50, this 50 is for funding of the second project, right together. This one, it's already done. It's a done deal, right together. Now we are in year what? Let me put, we are in year We are in year 2. Are you together? We are in year 2 here in this instance. We are in year 2. Are you together? So we are finding which one is the best option to fund the second what project. Which one is the best option? So we're saying the second project, it's 50% debt, which is 50 million, then equity 50 million plus the previous one. So therefore, what will be our capital structure here? What will be our capital structure? If I may ask.
25% to 75%.
25% to what?
75%.
Right. 25% to 75%. Right together. Because we are saying 50 divided by 200. Right together. If you say plus 50 divided by 200, we get 1/4, which is, if you put express it as a percentage, is 25%. Then 150 million divided by 200 million expressed as a percentage. Let me put sorry, it's going to be what percent? I was not supposed to have put that. We're saying 1 plus 150 divided by 200. We get 3/4, which is as a percentage, it's 75%. Are you together? So which is 25% debt and 75% what? Equity. Then we are told earnings before interest and taxes is going to be the what? The same. So which is 40 million. Therefore, our interest on debt is going to be 5 million, which is 10% of what? Of the debt amount, 50 million. Right together? 10% of the debt amount, 50 million, we get 5 million. And our profit before tax is going to be 35 million. Then our income tax, 28% of 35 million is going to be 9.8 million. And our net profit is going to be 25.2. And therefore, our return on assets is still the same, 20%, but shareholders will be now getting what? 17%. Hello? So they're getting a better deal than this one, right together. They'll be getting at least 17%. Then third option, we are told it's supposed the second project is supposed to be wholly funded by what? By debt. The second project is supposed to be wholly funded by what? By debt. So meaning to say this one is going to be 100 million, right? Then the equity amount 100 million. That is for the first project. First project was funded by equity. Second project is funded by what? By debt. So we want to see which one is better. Therefore, what will be our capital structure in this instant?
50% to 50%.
50% to 50%. 50% to 50%. Are you together? Right? Then we want to see what will happen to our what? Return on assets. Are they going to increase? What will happen to return on equity? Are they going to increase? Our EBIT will be how much? It will not change, 40 million. Hello? Therefore, our interest on debt is going to be 10 million, which is 10% of what? 100 million, which is 10 million. Then profit before tax will be 30 million. Then income tax, which is 20% of what? 30 million is going to be 8.4 million. Therefore, our net profit is going to be 21,600,000. Return on assets doesn't change. Return on equity, 22%. So if a finance manager and you are asked, which option are you going to use? Which is the best option for the organization and for the for shareholders? Which one is the best? Is it option 1, option 2, or option 3? Which one is the best option?
Option 3.
Option 3, right together. So it's going to be option 3 because it's giving us high returns on what? On equity. Right together, yes. Right? Anyone question on this? Anyone with a question? Right, so that's that on capital structure. That's that on capital structure, right? I was for the idea. What time do you start classes tomorrow?
8.
8.
Yes.
Is there any harm if you can have our another class at 6:30 tomorrow? You are having
On Zoom.
class in the comfort of your dormitories, in the comfort of your blankets. And you have internet in the dormitories.
Yes.
Hello?
You want to have
Yes, we do.
Something like half 6 or something like half 7 or early.
that's fine online.
It's fine, because aren't you writing final
Yes,
exams
that's fine.
next week?
Yes.
So I want us by Thursday. Because tomorrow, if we in the morning we do capital structure, in the afternoon we do differential costing, then Wednesday we do time value. In the morning, in the afternoon, we do budgeting and strategic management. Then Thursday, Friday, you are just writing your quizzes. Then next week, you prepare for your final exam.
That's fine, sir.
It's fine.
Yes, sir.
We could have our class in the evening, but unfortunately, like I told you, I'm teaching in Harare for trimester. So I